Hey, Mrs. Sparks.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
What's up?
Nothing much. Me and my tutor have a quick question.
Okay.
So, she's confused on the second problem. Well, we're confused on the second problem in the video. It's when she graphed it, she got stuff that intersected, and so we want to try to figure out what she did wrong.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't actually double check everything in the video. So let's make do we sometimes the my main point behind the video was trying to decipher between where you have an actual one finite solution, which is an actual solution, and then no solution where they're parallel lines, and then an infinite number of solutions, whereas it is the same line. So let me pull up the video on my other computer so that I'm not blaring that in y'all's ears.
I have the equation if you want it.
Okay. All right. Um, Not the piece of paper I was looking for.
Yeah, she's helping us right now.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Okay.
Did you see me?
Yes. She can both see and hear
Oh,
you.
hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much. Because
No problem. I'm pulling up. I'm actually gonna pull up the video, and Alex gonna give me the.
Okay. Because it said they came out parallel, but my question was, I mean, I guess
Is the slope the same?
well, I was thinking at rise over run and like that form of equation, but I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm confused. So I think maybe if you explain it, Elliot couldn't explain my question, which is realistic. No, I mean you can't explain most of my questions, but this one you couldn't, so I thought you'd ask.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Oh yeah. I'm looking back over. Yay.
Because my question was, and I guess I've asked this question, well, I've pondered it by myself, was like you can stack the two equations and you put the variables in the right order, and then you can just do like the elimination or the subtraction way. And I've got that so far, but if you're just doing like one equation at a time and pulling out those points, does it work the same way?
Like when you're saying, like, are you pulling out the points, the X and the Y intercept points?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, technically, yes, because you would get an X intercept and Y intercept. I mean, eventually, if the line passes through both of those, but obviously you would get an error, in that if you didn't. And I am watching the video now, trying to get those equations. What were the equations?
Okay, 2x minus y equals 3, and negative 2x plus 1 plus y equals 1.
Huh. I can tell you right now that the slopes aren't the same.
Yeah, we got something very different and weird.
That's so weird.
Let's go back to the video ourselves.
Well, and so I'm looking at that. Well, I mean, in order,
because she said that all of the variables cancel each other out, which they do. And so then she is saying that 0 equals 4. And so there's no solution and they're parallel. But I was like, how do you get that they're parallel from? I was just totally confused by that one. Like the other two, I got it. But that one, I was like, I don't understand.
Well, and the kids know this, in order for two lines to be parallel, they have to share the same slope.
Yeah.
She did get a false solution, which I agree. you know, it is a false solution, but I don't see them as parallel at all.
Found a mistake.
Oh,
Oh.
actually, I do.
Oh.
Oh.
Wait, hang on just 1 second. Wait a minute. Let me double check. All right. So if I take 2x minus y equals 3,
Okay.
and I put it in slope-intercept form, which is the easiest way to confirm or deny whether something is parallel or not.
So slope-intercept is when the y variables on one side.
Y equals mx plus b. So
Yes, y equals mx plus b. So if you put the first one in slope-intercept form, by first moving the 2x over to the other side, you would get negative y equals negative 2x plus 3. And then you divide everything in order to clean up y, divide everything by a negative 1. And you would get 2x minus 3. And then if I take the negative 2x plus y equals 1 and put it in slope-intercept form, I get 2x plus 1. And so they do share the same slope. Does that make sense now? Or do you want me to put it on the Cami? I can actually write it, which it would probably help if I had it on Cami for you.
Yeah, can we see how you graph that? I think this
Yes, absolutely. When I first perused it though, I was like, wow, I don't know.
pushing it up.
Okay.
In slope intercept form. We were just
didn't.
I didn't put it in slope intercept form. I was just taking
the x and y intercept, which you should be able to do that and confirm it. But in order for me to be like, okay, we've done the x and y intercept and we couldn't get them, which means that they could intersect somewhere way off in eternity, you know? And so sometimes it's just easier than to go ahead and put them in slope intercept form and verify that the slopes are the same in order to confirm that they are indeed parallel. If you know, because like I say, if the, you know, if you're doing the x and y intercept, we might not be able to do that, but I'll graph them both ways.
Okay. I can see where I went wrong.
I can see where you're
at. So let me share the screen with you guys.
This is the most fruitful plan.
I think this is.
Yeah, because this is the first time I've been confused.
Confuzzled.
Oh, there we go. It happens. The other thing I wanted to do is find my blank graphs.
More blank graphs.
Sweet.
Come in.
Okay. So I have two x minus, and please correct me if I write anything down wrong, equals 3.
Yes, ma'am.
And then to put it in slope intercept form, I would simply subtract 2x from both sides. And I would get that. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Then I would divide everything by a negative 1 to clean up my y.
Yep.
Would give me y equals 2x minus 3. And on the other one, I have negative 2x plus y equals 1. And to put it in slope intercept form, I would add 2x to both sides.
This is
would give me 2x plus 1. Thereby, the slopes are the same in both of those, but the y-intercepts are different. And then to graph those, the first one, I'm going to put, it's a -3 where it intercepts.
It was -1 is what your issue was. The x-intercept is -1. That's what you did wrong.
And then with -3, then my slope is 2. So I'll rise 2. So 1, 2, and right 1. Or I can go down 2 and left 1. So, and then this neat trick that Alex showed me. There's that line. And then the second one is +1. And the slope is 2. So I could rise 2, left 1, right 1. I'll get it right in a minute. Down 2, left 1.
So I got one of the equations right.
You got that bottom one right, but you didn't get, because
she's doing rise over run. Okay.
Yes, I did rise over run, and if you were doing the x-intercepts, let's see, 2. Let me plug in a 0 minus y equals 3. So that's going to give you minus y equals 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then y equals -3.
Got that.
Okay, so that would be for that one. And then 2x minus 0 equals 3. And then 2x equals 3, and x equals 3/2. So your x-intercept is 3/2 on the top one.
Yep.
Is that what you got?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So on that one, that top one, it would be running through right about there, which we have. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe I'll make it a different color.
Okay. So I got that one right.
Okay. And then on that bottom one, we've got, we'll just -2 times 0 plus y equals 1, and y equals 1. And then -2x plus 0 equals 1. -2x equals 1. X equals -1/2, which would be right about there.
Okay.
And those, like this one.
Yes. Okay.
Those are so close. And this is so close.
I did the division on that very last part wrong. That is exactly, it threw off my whole game.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And you know what? I'm not rejoicing in what happened, but I love when students see that even those people who do math all the time, that kind of thing, the errors happen to us all, especially in the simple. It's like, that's what I tell the students. What I'm seeing in this is everyone is getting the concepts and nailing the concepts well, but there's so much attention to detail in systems of equations.
Yes, this is what I get on to Alec all the time, because he's super smart and he can do like 99% of this in his head. But sometimes there are so many little steps, and the math is so simple that I'm trying to get him to write out every single step just so he can, like, because he's got the concept down like 100%, but it's sometimes the little steps.
Yes. And in all honesty, with my little genius groups, my 4th and 5th period, that is what happens. They do so much in their head.
Yes.
And what I'm trying to train them, because when you get into the deeper math, the upper calculuses and that kind of thing, you really are going to want to show your steps. I know Miss Stone, that's how she teaches. And actually, We have a couple of Cornerstone students are in Calc 1 and 2 in college.
Uh-huh.
And even if they get the answer right, if they haven't shown the detailed work, they get the whole problem wrong.
Yes, this is what I keep trying to tell all of my. I have another homeschool boy in 11th grade, and he does the same, but he plugs it all into his calculator, and you know,
and if you plug it in wrong, like I've got a lot of students who are so dependent on those graphing calculators, which I love them, and I think they're a great backup. But boy, you put junk in, you're going to get junk out.
Well, I tell him you have to do so many of them by hand so you have a general idea of what you think that graph, just by looking at the equation, you can say, okay, I think this graph should look like this, and then graph it and see if you get the same thing. So I actually took away his graphing calculator this week.
Well, it's interesting. Miss Stone is actually taking the graphing calculators away next year from all algebra students, first year algebra students.
Yeah, I think
she wants them to have that concept. And she says it also delays an investment that, you know, is a very pricey investment.
That's true.
For parents. It delays it because they really don't need it till algebra 2.
Yeah, he is in algebra 2, but we're actually doing something quite similar to this right now. Yeah. Okay, thank you for clarifying that. I literally just messed up on that very last step.
Well, you know, God works in mysterious ways. Sometimes he uses us to show the students how important it is really to show all of your steps, because it can happen to anybody.
Yep, look at that.
Yesterday, I taught for 5 minutes. Taught vertical asymptotes for 5 minutes, but was calling them horizontal asymptotes. You know, snow brain and Monday.
Oh yeah, that's totally true.
You know, just telling them to go ahead and factor that denominator for their horizontal asymptotes. I'm like, okay, well, there you go. And finally, I had a student say, Miss Sparks, are you sure you're not calling it the wrong thing? Bless their hearts. I'm like, oh, honey, you just need to always watch Miss Sparks. It happens. We're human.
Very true.
Well, cool. But I was a little nervous. I was like, wow, this is one video that I didn't really handwrite all of because I was trying to get the premise for them on the one solution, no solution, and infinite solutions. So I was trying to find the shortest video I possibly could because they've got these packets because they weren't with me. And I'm just, you know, practice makes perfect on this stuff because it is so detailed. And it's a self-checking assignment to really give them great practice on this, you know, so that later on when they move to matrices and stuff like that, it'll have a good connect. So I was like, okay, what's short? And then when y'all did this, I'm like, oh Lord, I didn't check the equations.
It was, we had, oh, I got 3 out of the 4 right. But that fourth one threw off the whole thing, of course. So I was just confused about how that worked.
Yeah. But the premise of the lesson, you know, you guys, it was clear, correct?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very much so.
Yeah.
I just personally wasn't sure like how we could tell that it was parallel, but now that I've graphed it, I can see what she was seeing.
Yes. Yeah. And I always, and I do, you know, tell the students, please double check, you know, if you're getting the same slope, you know, you definitely should have a parallel line. So, you know, that's just, you know, for them, what I'm trying to do is make sure all of the lessons are starting to connect for them, you know, because this kind of brings all linear expressions and functions and all of that into practice, in good practice.
Yeah.
So anyway, I appreciate y'all letting me know because you know, it can be that can be, oh no. You know, that's what happens to me when I go through and be like, I had a video for this lesson, but it was, you know, 10, 15 minutes. And I'm trying really hard not to inundate the students, you know? So I wanted to get the point across as quickly as possible. And I'm like, of course, when I don't check it.
Well, thank you, Mr. Sparks.
Not a problem. Thank you. I hope that you have a wonderful day. Is there any other questions like on the packet?
No, the packet, I felt it was really easy.
And listen to your tutor. Show me those steps.
Yes,
Thank you.
I showed all my steps on the packet yesterday.
That's good. I'm very proud of you. I need to see those
I
steps.
tried to get him to do it all year last year, and he didn't really want to listen to me.
But this year, I came to my senses.
He's coming to his senses, and yeah, he's gotten a lot better this year. I'm very proud of him.
Yes. Between the two of us, I think we're beating up on him pretty bad. Poor Alec.
Well, I mean, the thing we love about Alec is he's just he's
resilient.
I feel like he's the most incredible person I've ever met some days, except when he eats my bread bowls. But
jeez, I got you a new bread bowl. I got you 1.5 bread bowls. I saved your butt.
But it's really nice to see his growth and how far he's come and how he's adjusting with skipping so many grades. It's really heartwarming. So I'm very proud of what he's been able to accomplish this year. And yeah, he was most nervous about math, I have to admit, but he's very excited in your class, and he does talk positively about that. Oh, he's going to cry now. The feelings. I love you, Alec.
Oh, he's such a great kid. I love having him in class. He's a huge blessing to me.
Well, hopefully we can get him through the rest of the year.
Yes. Hopefully so. Hopefully so. He's so good about coming to math lab too and hanging out with me. I appreciate that. It could get boring without Alec.
Don't want that to happen, man.
Yes, I know, right?
Kind of interesting.
Yeah, nobody else showed up to our little group.
Yeah, and he gets to help me plan classes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. He and I decided on this packet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the packet.
I'll have to show you the packet.
Okay.
It's really funny after last week's snow apocalypse that we had, because it's called Sledding into Systems of Equations. So there's a picture of a sled on every page.
All right. Hopefully we don't get any more snow days, but I heard,
speak for yourself.
No, Cherokee County took away their February break last night.
Oh, did they really?
Not Cobb County. Cobb County didn't take it away, but Cherokee decided yesterday to take it away. So you don't want any more snow days because Cobb might take away your February break.
Well, the good news is, the good news or the bad news, I don't know. Some of the students were really complaining about the amount of workload. We technically, ours were still working. So even though we weren't in our brick and mortar place, we still can count it as a school day.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of y'all's school is you can still do that. I know a few teachers in Cherokee County who did things online. They have some online portals, but they still, I think they said that they're going to give them Monday and Wednesday or Monday and Tuesday because it's President's Day. But Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all the kids have to come to school. But if they get more snow days, then they'll take away Monday and Tuesday as well. Oh. I feel bad for the people who've already booked like their Disneyland trips, or.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to have some backlash on that.
They probably are. I mean,
well, I was talking to I know 2 teachers that teach in Cherokee, and I was talking to them last night, and they're pretty upset. But I mean, what can you do? School's out for 6 days so far this year.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the other thing for us. Technically we missed 3. Yeah. So, that's the other thing, plus we did everything. I don't think, other than the fact that I don't like not being with my students, actually go through these things and be able to walk around and see how they're doing these things. I didn't like that. But I felt like, I was like, Alec and I had already even talked about doing this packet. And I thought, wow, this landed perfectly because there's so much practice involved and it's self-checking that this is going to be a great way for me to get, to be able to quote unquote catch up from not being with them.
Well, I guess we're going to head out.
All right. You all have a wonderful day.
You too.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Moby, you need to be up, buddy.